A still photo of a preschool-age child looking at a children's book that has been translated into Chinese characters. A graphic title below the photo reads, "Integrating Home Culture and Language in Learning Activities and Environments."
We also ask our families to come and share stories.
The speaker, identified as Maruf Mendez, appears in a preschool setting. As she continues to speak, a sequence of still pictures shows a variety of classroom bulletin boards full of pictures that show family cultural practices, including music and dance. English embedded captions appear on screen throughout the video.
They will bring music, they will do mini presentations. We encourage that. We also ask them to bring in photographs of their families so we can display them on our boards for all the other families to learn about them too.
I know at Cabrillo College, every week they have a family shelf.
A group of early childhood professionals sits in a panel discussion in a TV studio setting. The speaker from the panel is identified as Christina Lopez Morgan.
And each family shares something about their culture on the family shelf. It can be anything. It can be recipes, it can be food, it can be flowers, it can be anything that's important to them in their culture. And that's an ongoing thing that they do throughout the year, so that you're continually having this self-reflection, this reflection of who you are in the environment, and that makes a difference.
We one time invited all of our families to go on a nature walk with us around our center.
The next speaker from the panel is identified as Kimberly Nall. As she speaks, a short sequence of still photos shows a group of children and adults meeting outside, taking a walk along an outdoor trail, and examining plants and soil.
It was really interesting to see how families were able to relate the nature walk to their culture and the things that mattered to them in nature. And that was something that was very relevant for the children and the families. And that was, we were able to hear about how they might garden, because part of the walk was through our garden, and the things that they grow at home, and the things that they use those vegetables for in recipes at home, and some of the native plants that were recognized on the walk. And so while it was a nature walk, it ended up being an experience in culture as well, because we learned more about the experiences of the children, and we learned more about the experiences in the families.
Come in. Hi, Chloe.
The speaker, seated in a preschool setting, is identified on screen as Louise Piper. As she speaks, a sequence of short scenes shows children in a dramatic play area setting the table to eat culturally specific food, and children playing with ethnically diverse dolls.
You want some tea? Yeah.
We want the dramatic play area to represent the families that we serve, so children see things from home. An array of dolls with varying skin tones. All those kinds of rich things that bring and celebrate the diversity of our families into the classroom.
Maruf Mendez appears again. As she speaks, a sequence of photos shows various bulletin boards with items labeled in Chinese characters, Spanish, and English.
We provide a multilingual classroom in terms of labeling our classroom in the languages that are present in our classroom. So we have Chinese labels, we have Spanish labels, we have sign language labels. We'll add some French or some Dutch. We also provide all kinds of books, fiction, non-fiction books, Japanese books, Hindi, Punjabi, a variety of books that the children can recognize, because the goal for me is for our children to feel validated and again to be recognized.
Credits. Adapted with permission from the California Preschool Program Guidelines DVD series, a product of the California Department of Education, developed by West Ed, copyright 2013. California Department of Education with West Ed. A special thanks to the programs and families without whose help this video series would not have been possible. The CDE logo appears in the lower left of the screen. The West Ed logo appears in the lower right.